This is going to be a slightly different video than the ones I've done in this series. Yes, it's going to be about Paperclip, but probably not in the sense that you might expect. Here's why. Yesterday, Anthropic Claude released Claude Managed Agents. As you can see here on my X, everything you need to deploy agents at scale. Basically, what we have been doing with Paperclip for the past few weeks. A few others are popping up now too. Orchestration tools similar to Paperclip. Very cool. I'm definitely going to check these out. But as you know by now, I am a huge Paperclip advocate, a crusader, if you will. I really love the platform. I have some strong opinions about it, and I believe by now Dota knows that too. So that's for another story. But why I've retweeted this with the text "epic in theory, but too expensive and unreliable in reality." When I actually built my business through Paperclip now, I've primarily used Claude Code. This video by no means is any how do you say this? Any ban, or not ban, but like I'm not trying to bash Anthropic or Claude. I love their work. I love their models. I use them on a daily basis. Both me and my wife Sharon are on the highest max 20x plans, and both of us. So that's $400 between the two of us every month. And then sometimes we have a third account. So that says something about the quality of the models, and we've actually starting to depend on them. And we have fallen for what I've said in the second line of this tweet. It's unreliable in reality. I use Dota's Paperclip to skip vendor lock-in, and that's something I want to talk about today. The vendor lock-in part, because what we're doing now is we're building our businesses on third-party APIs, third-party models in this case, which is very risky. And I'm going to share a little bit of my history with you to sort of prove that this is the case. Vendor lock-in is a broad concept, right? It's for APIs. It's for AIs in this case. It is for any API that you rely on in your business. And I'm specifically triggered, so it's funny that someone calls me out here that this is rage bait, and I jokingly said, is it working? But I'm actually rage baited myself because of their tweet, which is, sparks the conversation, which I love. But imagine thinking that Paperclip and Managed Agents are in any way related. Bro, take this down. Also, I love Paperclip, but it's so far from what Managed Agents is. This has to be rage bait. It is not rage bait, which you will understand through the course of this video. So a couple of years ago, and with a couple, Sharon likes to remind me, Aaron, you're getting old. A couple of years ago, it's actually 10, 11 years ago. Actually no longer, 13 years ago, I built a little site called Facebook Group Poster. You're going to laugh when you see this, because no, this is not my Facebook page. This was my domain, facebookgroupposter.com, which, as you can imagine by now, Facebook really loved. I received a cease and desist for this a couple months in the process. But what Facebook Group Poster was, it was a tool that allowed you to connect your Facebook account, and then you would select all of your groups. You would write a message that you wanted to post to all of those groups. You would hit send or publish, whatever it said at the time, and it would automatically blast that message to all of the groups. Of course, this was very interesting for marketing purposes, because you would join a bunch of groups, and people would just blast, basically spam to it at the time. And Facebook didn't really like that, so they caught up with me and many others who were selling services like these. But it got to the point where I started developing the software. I bought other scripts. I hired teams to or developers to work on it. And it turned into FB Group Auto Poster, a domain I still own. If you go there now, I recommend Publer for all your social media publishing thingamajigs. We're actually affiliates there. So if you are interested, go to publer.com/Aaron and Sharon, and you'll be able to get a little discount. But that's that's not the point of this video, but Facebook Group Auto Poster was like a development of Facebook Group Poster where you would be able to sort of create groups or lists of groups, where you could separate all your groups into niches and then post specific messages with intervals, because Facebook started to clamp down on that. We got this to the point where we were making $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month through the SaaS that we were offering at that time. So this is this screenshot. I'm on the web archive here because all of this is gone, but this is 2015, 2026. So I started it. Here's the one from 2013, July, approximately then. That's when I sort of started here. What was this? Doesn't really matter. But, my point is that I had a vendor lock-in for my business. I was earning $8,000 to $9,000 to $10,000 a month while relying on Facebook's Graph API, like the developer API that they still have today. That was what the business relied on. And eventually, of course, Facebook didn't like what the service that I was offering. So all sorts of, and again, others with me, and they all had the same issues that I started having. And, it got to the point where they were just clamping down on all of us. The APIs got banned. The IP addresses got banned. There was a point where I had 20 domain names, 20 hosting plans, and was spreading out my customers throughout them, all automatically. And they were just blasting Facebook. But I built my business on someone else's API. And the moment that the whole thing with Facebook happened with the APIs, that they shut everything down, I decided to actually pull the plug on, and not me, it was me and my wife. We ran that business together. We still do, but other projects, including, the traffic exchange script and all the Paperclip stuff that we're working on. But we decided to just close it down because it was basically a shit show. It was horrible. I remember a vacation to New York City, and I was up in my hotel room managing server issues and stuff like that, and moving everything over new domains, and because it got banned again, and it was horrible. What I learned from that, again, that's a $100,000 plus yearly income that just vanished like that. And we vowed that would never happen again. And it's already sort of snuck in throughout the years again, obviously, with AI, with the multiple models, and I'm looking from the sidelines now at Claude and Anthropic banning so many accounts. Seemingly, again, it's not on a whim, but it's seemingly on a whim. And that really scares me as a business owner that relies on Claude. And again, I want to emphasize, I love the Sonnet models. I love the Opus models. OpenAI's ChatGPT saved another part of my business a couple of years ago already, to the point where I was at my lowest, both in business and in life. And the coding capabilities of ChatGPT even then helped me really, stay at least afloat, right? Because this is my full-time job. We work, me and my wife, we work from home. So I'm still eternally grateful for that. I've had some issues with developers over the years where Claude has now stepped in and has completely rebuilt some of the products that we were already selling but fell behind, to the point where they're now sellable again. So we have, that part of our income back. So again, I'm not bashing anything or anyone here. I'm just sharing my experience and my opinion on the fact that if we now go to where Anthropic is going with the managed agents, it pairs an agent harness tuned for performance and production and infrastructure. Well, if we go to status.anthropic.com, we can see what their infrastructure is doing. And at this moment of recording, it's not too good. And especially it's just riddled with incidents, downtime. And usually these are fine, right? You just take a break, touch grass, as we say now. But, when you really depend on it through your entire business, which is what I'm doing or starting to do and want to do with Paperclip. This is actually a bleeding edge nightly build where for Paperclip Desktop that I've been creating, that's actually out right now, but this is like a new version of it for local and remote. So you would go to remote and you would be able to find connect to a remote Paperclip instance. But if we go to my local installation here, and go to the project that I've been running on this here, we can see that I've invested some time and some budget on this of my Claude Code Max 20X plan, and it's been an incredible ride. Actually, for this specific project, I've arrived at the agents handling the day-to-day for me. They handle the content, they handle SEO. Let me see. That was an SEO audit, but we have, it manages the server. As you can see, we had some, time to first byte regression where it was, about 2-3 seconds to load the page, and it got it down to between a second, or less than a second to 1.5 seconds, which is really good. It really handles the SEO proactively for me. It does outreach for link building, etc. It does sales outreach. It's going to be doing sales outreach. I'm personally gating that because I'm sort of wary about it. So I need to come up mentally with a process that I can use. But the script maintenance, the product maintenance, the support for it, support operations, which is going through the Free Scout API, which is the way I handle my support center. So it's actually handling my full day-to-day operations. And then this allows me to, at any given time, if we go to SEO and then go to configuration, I'm able to change the adapter at any time. I've been playing with Minimax 2.7 for the past few days on another project, which has pleasantly surprised me because I went away from Codex because I couldn't use the Codex app, the latest models, because I'm on an Intel Mac. It's not time for a new Mac yet. So, I'm wearing this one out before getting the next one. But that means I couldn't use Codex. So I moved completely to Claude Code just to now get into all of the stuff that's been going on X, where I have another opinion on, but that's not for me to share. That's a personal opinion. And I think this sigh says a lot. But at any time with this Paperclip setup, I can change my adapter. I can go for my CEO, for all of my agents, I can go from Claude to Codex to Gemini, especially Hermes. I'm starting to love Hermes, whatever the right pronunciation is. If anyone at Hermes sees this, let us know. I'm starting to really like Hermes Agent. I'm just going to call it Hermes. But OpenCode, for example, is a big unlock as well, because it gives you access to all of the models, including some free ones I've seen and heard. So that's really positive. But my point is that I'm in control. I can switch the adapter. I can switch the models. Whereas if I'm going to use an agent harness tuned for performance and production and infrastructure, where I think the infrastructure is so-so at the moment, and I'm not able to switch and move around, it really locks me in as to that vendor. And I would have the same opinion if it was OpenAI doing this. And I believe they've done it, which I completely missed. I believe they've done it with an agent router builder, whatever, which didn't work out apparently either. Yeah, like the vendor lock-in really scares me here. I'm thinking they are related. The research I've done makes me think it's related. And, yeah, this isn't rage bait. This is a fact. And I don't want to be locked in anymore, ever. I don't want to have the risk of me not being able to run my business anymore. So that is what happened at the time with the whole Facebook thing, and it's not going to happen again. So yeah, that's my little rant on vendor lock-in. Take from this what you want. I would personally recommend, as I say here in my tweet, use Dota's Paperclip and skip vendor lock-in. Paperclip is not the ultimate answer. I'm not saying that. Try the other ones that are coming out right now. See which one works best for you. I am on the Paperclip hype train, and even when the hype dies down, I'll still be on the Paperclip train. Whether it is me contributing back to Paperclip or forking it and doing some of my own cool stuff with it. But for now, I'm really into giving back there. I'm also helping other people in their business, running Paperclip, setting up Paperclip in their business. I like to think out of the box a little bit and see how that can easily be achieved, even for any type of business. And we see some incredible use cases come up for Paperclip, including lead sourcing. It's being used for brick and mortar businesses, dentists. I think Dota did a really cool retweet about a dentist using Paperclip in their business. Like, it's an incredible time and world that we live in. But I really wanted to share my experience about the vendor lock-in with you here, and just make you aware of that situation. And then if you have the money to burn, if you have the ability to take the risk, go try, right? But this is my little take, my little stance on it. I guess that's it for today's video. I'm working on Paperclip Desktop still, working on remote. I'll show you a little bit here. We have the launch chooser that I'm working on, which is coming along really nicely, I think. And then once that is done, there's going to be Paperclip Desktop for Windows. Right now it's only for Mac, but the next step is Windows, so that's coming up too. And that's it for me for now. I am going to run my daily routines in Paperclip on my day-to-day, see if there's anything it needs to handle. And then, get to development, helping some customers on some other projects that are not in Paperclip yet, which I'll be moving in soon. But if you like this video, there's much more coming. Please do all the cool YouTube stuff, like subscribe. You see that flickering button below here. Subscribe. Whenever I say that, it's supposed to show a little animation. Click that button. I'd love to have you with me. If you have any questions about Paperclip or running agents, let me know. Find me on X at Aaron Prinz. Reach out via DMs or publicly. I'm always happy to help. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.